With over 130 million copies sold, spanning 5 generations, NBA 2K is undoubtedly one of the most successful video game franchises in history. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the premier basketball simulation experience. Every basketball player since the dawn of the NBA is playable. Photorealistic arenas, lifelike player models, hundreds of handcrafted animations,
and an average of 100,000 concurrent players every single year.
It's even got its own esports league. Its only true competitor, NBA Live, hasn't even had a fraction of the success that 2K has had. They were so desperate to keep up with 2K, they cut 33% of the pre-order price for NBA Live 18 just to have a chance at competing that year. With the game franchise this lucrative, it's gotta be loved by everyone, right? I mean, only a game of the highest caliber can sell this many copies, right? Wrong.
Everything in NBA 2K20. These microtransactions, you gotta buy this to buy that. 2K games, they've proven every single year they're not talented enough.
A lot of people say things like, oh, the game just doesn't feel the same, the dribbling is ass, the game is slow paced, it's not as fast as previous years. Some people say there's a lack of innovation, and although they're doing things differently, they're not giving us a new experience, and so that's the root of it.
This game has been the same for far too long.
This series is a living embodiment of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is the problem with 2K. Before we begin, I'd like to note that this video mostly focused on the last 10 to 12 years of NBA 2K games, mostly because the PS3 360 generation is where 2K started to find its footing, and there's no point in comparing this to this. So without further ado, let's get to it. I've been playing NBA 2K games annually since 2K11. I've put thousands of hours into this series, not because I enjoy grinding or I play the game just to hate it, but because like many other 2K fans, I genuinely love basketball. And well, to play a basketball game is really the only option, besides NBA Live, which is effectively dead as of right now, with their last release being NBA Live 19. 2K and Visual Concepts knows they have a stranglehold on basketball games, and they sure as hell take advantage of it. Which leads me to my first topic, gameplay.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
As we all know, every new release of 2K is basically just a roster update and a new season of 2K TV.
That shit stinks!
Put it bluntly, Visual Concepts has not tried to make a good basketball game in at least a decade. They've mastered their own formula for making video games. And in that mastery, they've become completely complacent, offering virtually no improvement from year to year. Unless you count shinier sweat textures as an improvement.
No.
I want y'all to take a look at something real quick. These are the exact same games. Same teams, same matchup, same everything. Alright? This one and this one. Just take like, 20 seconds, watch it. Got it? Alright, now what if I told you that these games are 5 years apart from each other? That's the problem. Animations are constantly repackaged, reused, renamed.
What the hell is even that?
Take a look at this post about 2K21's animations. 10 of the exact same jump shots are in the game, all with different names. Size ups and dribble moves are mostly the same from year to year, just re-mocapped every 6 years or so. Honestly, most animations that are in 2K have been recycled since 2K12, PS3 era of 2K. Hell, even glitches carry over from previous games.
No, seriously, look. Circus layups in 2K23 are literally just Jamal Crawford layup packages from 2K16 with a new name slapped on it. Every moving crossover that's labeled as an NBA player is just a mashup of the 21 different ISO crossovers in 2K15. Every jump shot in 2K23 is a relabeled version of the basic numbered jump shots that have been in the series since 2K14.
It's just lazy.
Why don't you whip us up a couple of good 2K games?
No, I don't really feel like it.
Now, we all know sports games tend to be the same every year. That's nothing new. Madden does it, FIFA does it, whatever. But there are two problems plaguing 2K's gameplay specifically: animations and latency. Now hold on to your pants. This is about to get tricky in this section, alright? 2K is an animation and numbers based game, meaning that an offensive animation generates itself based on your player's attributes and their animation moveset, as well as the opposing team's attributes for defense and their defensive moveset. So every possession is essentially a mashup of complex animations colliding with each other, lacking dynamic physics. Now the problem with this game design is: 1, every animation is predetermined without player agency. 2, the players have bad logic. 3, because of this logic, you get locked into animations you didn't intend to happen. Every little thing in this game, from layups to blocks, steals, is all its own unbreakable, predetermined animation. It's almost as if you're playing the game and only have the illusion that you're controlling what's going on. As soon as you click that shoot button going in for a layup, you have no agency for what happens after you click that button. From there, it's all up to the 2K animation. These problems are exacerbated by badges. For example, I'll blow by a defender and go up for a layup, but my player will literally slow down because the defender activated chase down artist, and now my shot gets blocked even though I was running at full speed. The second and third problem with 2K's design is that the AI has pretty much no logic at all. Unbreakable layup animations that go directly into the defender's hand. Rebound animations that don't account for where the ball is going in the court. Steal animations that last for seconds, causing your player to lose balance and get blown past by the ball handler. The point is, if you're going to have a game so heavily reliant on animations, the AI absolutely has to be more intelligent about what animations it wants to use. And with that, we move on to latency. Latency has been a problem in 2K since its first foray into online matchmaking. If you've played even a lick of 2K Online, then you know that the input lag is extremely high. I get up to 250 megabytes per second, and I still get at least a 300 millisecond delay. And it's not just one game mode that struggles from it. MyTeam, regular play online, MyPark, MyPlayer, they all suffer from the same lag. Even running around the city is unplayable. I mean, you can't even shop at the store without getting lag. Some users report having up to a 500 millisecond delay. That's half a second. Look at this video dribbling it online. As you can see, he's inputting the commands, and there's like half a second before the player even does anything. How are you supposed to time shots that way? How are you supposed to do anything with that amount of delay? Now imagine being in a real game with this. 2K, I know you guys have unlimited money. Take time to fix these servers. Open up new servers. Fucking, tinker with them, make them faster, something. I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys are owned by Take-Two. I mean, you gotta have some type of money. Y'all aren't strapped for cash or anything, Jesus. Playing in the park is so much fun when it works, but sadly, it just doesn't. As I close into the gameplay section, I wanted to touch on something a little more meta than the latency of gameplay itself.
Sweet baby Ray's.
And that's the latency between player feedback and developer. $2K is an annual game, which means that if they want to get the game out every year, they have to pre-plan these games way in advance. While 2K23 is out, 2K24 is nearing completion, 2K25 is actively in development, and they probably already started pre-production on 2K26. So this means if there's a feature that players hate in 2K23 and want to have taken out, you won't even see the difference until 2K26. But it's not just the latency of player and developer. It seems like the 2K devs simply just don't listen. Any constructive criticism or good ideas brought to the 2K team is met with a strong shutdown by 2K's PR manager, Ronnie 2K.
What the fuck?
Who was supposed to be the bridge between the 2K community and Visual Concepts itself. Now we all know Ronnie's a dickhead, everyone fucking hates Ronnie, yeah, he's a piece of shit, yeah, we all know that. I'd rather focus on the actual game itself, so if you want a good video on Ronnie 2K, I highly recommend DBG Doc's video on the man himself. The disconnect between player and developer is most prevalent in 2K's most popular game mode and claim to fame, MyCareer.
Lakers with the ball.
The The introduction of MyPlayer in 2K10 was revolutionary for the franchise. You can live out your dream of getting drafted to the NBA, perfecting your skills, and dominating the league. You can choose where you're from, set your personality type, give yourself tattoos, jump shot, height, all that shit. You can make your player you. Winning a championship, seeing your player hold up that finals MVP trophy for the first time, is a feeling that no other game can capture like 2K. After playing the game, you could attend press conferences and answer questions from the press. Whichever way you answer sets your personality type. You can be rude or you can be nice. It really felt like you were an actual living, breathing player in the NBA, shaping your own story and forging your own destiny. Yeah, it was simple, but it was robust and it was fun as hell. But most importantly, it was about you. Now from 2K10 to 2K14, when you created a MyPlayer, there were things called playstyles. They were progenitors to archetypes. These were simple but very trailblazing for their time. Every position had about 4 or 5 playstyles you can do. Once you select your playstyle, play games, earn VC, upgrade your attributes, yada yada yada, you get the picture. But 2K15 hits, and now they start doing something different with attributes. They removed playstyles, and now like attributes are grouped together. The fuck? What is it? What is this shit? Alright, it was weird. But with time, the 2K community kind of grew on it, and everyone started to kind of like it. Instead of painstakingly upgrading every single attribute, you could just pay a lump sum and upgrade 8 or 9 at a time. By the time you were level 99, you could still dominate every aspect of the game. Then 2K16 hits, and in my opinion, this is where it all started to go kind of downhill. 2K16 was a good game, but it brought forth some ideas that really fucked over 2K in the long run. The game strips down play styles and introduces scoring styles.
It just works.
There were 3 main styles: inside score, outside score, and balanced. You upgraded your attributes in a lump sum akin to 2K15, but now attribute caps are way lower than they used to be. And now your height affects those caps. So not only are you an objectively worse player in 2K16 than you were in 2K15, but it's a lot more complicated trying to build a character to your liking. All of these attribute changes coincided with the introduction of MyPark, an online game mode where people take their MyPlayers and compete in 3v3 or 2v2 matches. MyPark was technically introduced in 2K14, but it was super primitive, and you can still make your player a 99 overall and everything. So everyone just cheesed the park all day. 2K16 is the first game where your build is heavily influenced by MyPark. And then we get to 2K17, which just became completely overcomplicated with building a character. Now wingspan and weight is factored into your build. Too long of a wingspan, your shooting sucks. Weight is too high, you're slow as fuck. You'll spend hours in the character creator trying to build your perfect character, but no matter which way you cut it, you're always going to end up with a player you're disappointed with in some aspects. Every choice you make creates a flaw in your player's game. You can either be perfect at one thing and suck at mostly everything else, or you can create an all-around and be just okay in everything. I mean, I thought I was playing MyCareer to be the greatest player of all time. Instead, I feel like a role player that just comes off the bench and excels at one thing. Oh, you think it's bad now? You haven't seen anything yet. 2K18, infamous for being one of the worst games ever made. You couldn't even get your player to a 99 overall.
What? No, I know that sounds bad.
Your level is capped at 88.
Sorry, your overall cap was actually 85. You know, as I was making this video, I thought 2K18 and 2K19 were the only 2Ks to do this. But as I started playing 2K23 MyCareer, I realized that they still have this feature in their game. So the overall cap is still in there. So just do with that information what you will.
If you wanted to go higher, you had to earn XP and break that level cap by doing mind-numbing activities, like going to the fucking gym or whatever. To even get to a level 95, you had to play an inconceivable amount of hours. For the majority of the game, you're essentially just a role player. Like, most of your stats are all at like 70 or 75 or whatever. You don't excel at anything. You're just a bad player for your entire career until you spend like the 150 hours it takes to get to a level 99. Like, how the fuck is that fun? Like, who thought in their right mind that that was fun? Getting up to a level 99 in 2K18 was so excruciatingly hard. 2K said if you managed to do it, they would etch your name in a plaque in 2K19.
Presented to Squidward, Tortellini.
From 2K20 onward, Visual Concepts started using skill breakdowns, which are just archetypes with fancy pie charts. You set your potential for your attributes based on the pie chart that you choose. The most recent release,
2K23,
got completely rid of pie charts and now just focuses solely on player potential. Which, I mean, it's alright, I guess. I mean, it still sucks, but it's better.
Now this is where the 1 step forward, 2 steps back comes in. Yeah, the attribute building in 2K23 is robust, but now animations for MyPlayer are fucking position, height, and attribute cap. Even the most arbitrary things that were free game for everyone, like jump shots, are height locked, so you're extremely limited in the types of animations you can use. My player's ball handling is a 90 overall, but since I'm over 6'5", I can't use Steph Curry's size-up moves.
Now 2K constantly tweaks these methods of player building because they need to balance my part. And it makes sense in theory, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, everyone needs a strength and a weakness for balanced online matchmaking. It's basic online game design. But the problem is, every position except one is practically worthless online. Every year, every single year in 2K, there's some type of demigod cheese build that can fucking just dominate the park and kill everyone. This is a recurring theme in every 2K that visual concepts just can't find a way to fix. If 2K truly achieved balance, then why is everyone playing with the same build? If everyone is building the exact same player with the exact same height, exact same weight, exact same potential, and exact same jump shots, that's not balance. That's just circumventing your shitty game design. It's as the saying goes, $1 million idea, 10-cent execution.
$6.
But my problem isn't just with limiting attributes for park's sake. Like I said, in theory, it's a great idea because you need balance in online matchmaking. My problem is that I want to live out my dream of being Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, and 2K simply just won't allow that anymore. There's nothing even remotely exciting about creating a player in MyCareer, knowing they'll never be as good as you actually want. 2K has now fully embraced MyCareer as being a role player simulator, but therein lies the conundrum. You want to build the perfect player for your MyCareer, but 2K needs you to build a balanced player for MyPark. So, how do we fix this? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Offline MyCareer mode. Let us have an option to make an online MyCareer where we have to build a balanced player to go online and play all those games and whatnot. Spin VC, make your player as good as they can be, and compete in online matches. But also give us the option to have an offline mode where we can, upgrade our player all the way up to a 99. No attribute caps or anything like that. You can just play, be the greatest player of all time, and go through the story completely offline. I know it's not hard, 2K. You did it for 5 years. Speaking of story.
Help you find something?
I'm just looking around, you know what I'm saying? I've never been behind the scenes before on this NBA thing. I was on the flow, yo.
It's not bad, right?
Not bad at all. I'm gonna be there one day, you know what I'm saying? With the lights on me, everybody chanting my name like B, fresh, B, fresh. See, money, you gotta get the elbows up, my
I'm
G.
working on those elbows.
Money, whenever you need it. ATM is in the building. What's up?
They're everywhere.
What do you mean by that?
Looks like they got laws at the last week's Bieber concert. Bieber!
Who had thought
About what?
that a young buck like you could actually do the right thing and avoid getting his sorry butt?
Folks over, first name A, last name I.
Last name ever, first name greatest.
I think my lady Yvette. I guess I will take some questions now. Yes, ma'am.
Fucking encrusted testicle, my boy. You look like a double dip chocolate chip, cliff slip, charcoal slim jim with a gargle, my nose, and Mr. Cargo hunchback. No fucking feet, 9 arms, 7 stomachs, 2 ball fades. Your stepdad beat you to wiffle ball bat. You're curled up into a ball like an autistic Bakugan. You live in a sophisticated mud hut. Your washing machine is a bucket of water you shake, and now you brush your teeth with your grandpa's back scratcher.
Remember when I said MyCareer was about shaping your own story and forging your own destiny? Well, 2K15, 2K shat all that out the window. And now we have this.
I think you jealous of the way that I'm laying it down with these hotties on Instagram while you stuck at home with your one blazing beauty. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't get heated because you went behind my back to get at Yvette, and she turned you down, B.
Ah yes, the infamous 2K stories. Known for being absolute dog shit cringe fest. I almost think 2K is writing them ironically at this point, just to see how bad they can get them before people stop buying. The original appeal of MyCareer was that you can create any player you want, shape their own destiny. Now, 2K puts the story in front of player freedom. You can make an arrogant loser who always loses in the finals but thinks he's the greatest player of all time. Or you can make, a humble winner that wins 10 championships and always says his teammates are better than him. The whole point was that it was up to you and how you wanted to make your player. October 2013. NBA 2K14 is released for the PS4. It's the first 2K that's actually on the PS4 and Xbox One generation. MyCareer is still there, but something different. Now there's a story, cutscenes, dialogue options.
Okay, dude. What the flip?
The story was nothing crazy, You're a college prospect that has infinite potential. Every other type of NBA story or whatever. Dialogue options affect how high you land in the draft, as well as how well you do in the rookie showcase. There were extremely light choice and consequence options. Like, you know, you could suck up to your GM and get extra minutes, but then your teammates wouldn't like you. Or you can go out and party with your teammates and build chemistry, but your GM would get mad at you and take away your minutes. All of these narrative choices were meant to shape how you'd really act as an NBA player in your career. I mean, there were some forced things in the story, like, you know, this fucking guy right here.
You fucking income fucking.
But all in all, it was interesting, creative, experimental. It added a ton of depth to a game mode that was already super fun. But from this point forward, every 2K MyCareer story took complete control of your player, putting the story in the front seat and the player in the back. 2K16 went in a completely different direction for their MyCareer story. This time, there was a full linear story, directed by Spike Lee. The basic synopsis is that you're a high school basketball prodigy from Harlem who's about to commit to college. Along with your twin sister CC and your best friend Vic, also known as Boss Key Yachts, you watch as you go from high school to the NBA in a drama-filled, ridiculous storyline. Now, we don't have to go on a 30-minute tangent about why 2K16 story sucks. You know, we all know it's fucking dog shit. We all know it's cringe. We all hate that fucking nickname. But if you enjoyed it, more power to you. Let me know in the comments. Don't. What can be said about 2K16 story and every other subsequent MyCareer story experience can be summarized by this snippet of The Verge's review. The problem with the development and inclusion of Living the Dream is that it completely misunderstands the appeal of MyCareer mode in the first place. Living a Dream takes away all agency you had over your player, and instead forces you to live through the story that 2K and Spike Lee wanted to tell. I don't want to be a kid from Harlem going through the trials and tribulations of getting into the NBA. Living a Dream works great as a movie, you know, however you feel about the writing, but as a game mode that's designed to make it your own story, it just falls completely flat. You know, it's funny, the 2K16 tagline, like the main tagline for the game, is be the story, which is pretty ironic considering that, you know, you have no fucking control over the story. Not to mention the story has extreme ludonarrative dissonance. I mean, Freak,
frequency vibrations.
Sorry, I don't speak retard.
is being told that he's the greatest high school prospect of all time. He's fucking Jesus walking on water. But as you're playing these college and, you know, NBA games or whatever, you're like a 65 overall and you score like 9 points and you play 10 minutes of the game. All in all, it made for a pretty unforgettable experience and not in a good way at all. 2K17 drops, you know, there's still a story and cutscenes or whatever, but not as nearly as melodramatic as Living the Dream. You play as a prodigy high school basketball player once again. 2K runs with the idea of having a forced nickname again, this time being called Prez or Mr. President. Obama. Michael B. Jordan and Hannibal Buress are in this game for some fucking reason. I don't know. Oh, by the way, 2K15 had had this fucking dumbass Pharrell appearance, so that was pretty funny, I guess. Looking back, 2K17 wasn't as egregious as any of the other 2K stories that came before or after it, so I'll just leave the shit talking for later. 2K18. Oh, 2K18. Well, in this fantastic game, you play as a music DJ, aptly named DJ.
No fucking way.
Plays street ball tournaments and somehow is able to sign a contract by winning a street ball tournament. Now you may be thinking to yourself, wow, that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. You'd be absolutely correct, so congratulations. This game introduced the neighborhood, which is a glorified main menu that has you run around for 6 minutes, going to find clothes or getting a new haircut or buying animations or shit. It would be cool, you know, like the city, if it wasn't completely flat and boring and riddled with the worst NPCs known to mankind. Especially this bitch right here. Fuck her. All in all, 2K18 is just filled with shameless product placement, garbage NPCs, and probably the worst story I've ever experienced in my life.
DJ, we heard you were a fan of the dude. So we decided to give you some samples. Do what you do.
I honestly believe 2K made MyCareer bad on purpose this year, so that way they could sell you VC and you can just circumvent everything and be good at the game. Because I mean, there's no way anyone approved of this dog shit. Now I'm not gonna go into detail about every 2K story because, you know, you get the picture. 2K19 is about an arrogant guy named AI that goes undrafted. 2K20, you're a player named Shay that loses a scholarship. 2K21, you're Junior, son of a former college legend. You get the picture. All these stories are highly scripted and highly linear. But 2K22 try something pretty cool. Instead of a linear story, they created an RPG so you can go complete quests and do endorsements in the city. And these quests shape your player's career and personality. I mean, it's pretty refreshing in my opinion. You know, they still give you a set backstory and a set nickname and all that bullshit, but it actually gives you agency over what's going on in your actual NBA career. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I think 2K should lean into this fully as a MyCareer being an RPG type thing. Truly put the my back in my player. Now that we've discussed the biggest game mode that 2K has to offer, now we got to go on to the second biggest game mode, which is equally as broken. That being MyTeam. If you've ever played Madden, 2K MyTeam is just the equivalent to Ultimate Team. Basic premise is that you collect trading cards for NBA players, you build the best team you can, and you play in online and offline games. Now I know I sounded like a fucking nostalgic old head for most of this video, but just bear with me, alright? We're almost done. The classic MyTeam was so much fucking better than the shit we have now. I mean, dude, this screen is unreadable.
Okay, here we go. Kinda like naming NFL equivalent for each NBA player.
Every change implemented in MyTeam only serves to overcomplicate it even more than it needs to be. Let's start with position locking. Starting in 2K20, position locking makes it to where players can only play in their respective positions. So a small forward can't run as a point guard. In my opinion, this is just a complete detriment to the fun of MyTeam. Instead of being able to build any team I want, I'm forced to build a specific type of team that 2K tells me I can build. Another hard requirement for position locking is that every position needs at least 2 players on the team at one time. Look at this roster. Looks great, right? I got some good players, but I can't use it because I don't have a fucking backup center. So now I have to sub out 88 overall Tom Chambers for 76 overall Ron Seekley, making my team objectively worse than it was before. You may be thinking to yourself, oh, you know, Dylan, position locks are good for online play because it makes it to where you can't run an OP player as a point guard or shooting guard, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that may be the case if 2K literally didn't upsell you things called out of position cards. Also, did you notice how cool my team was looking? I mean, fucking, you know, I had LeBron, Jordan, Curry, fucking Vince Carter, Dame Dash, Wade. These are some of the greatest players ever. But what if I told you that I hadn't even played a single MyTeam game and 2K just gave me all these cards as soon as I booted the game up? MyTeam's power creep in recent years has become a serious problem. In 2K16, there were 5 99 overall cards. By 2K20, there were 258 99 overall cards. In 2015, MyTeam, it felt amazing to complete domination and finally pull a gold LeBron James card. I grinded for hours and I finally got the player that I actually wanted. Now in 2K, they just hand you these fucking cards because they have so many of them that you start out the game being a 90 overall team. There's absolutely no incentive to progress in domination or challenges or anything because you already have fucking the best players in the world. And it isn't only the greatest players that are getting these fucking 99 overall cards. No. We got shit like fucking Diamond Hito Turgaloo, Galaxy Opal, Taco Fall. What is the reason for these cards existing? There's absolutely no reason for these guys to be rated this high.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
They already have regular cards that are like gold and silver and whatever, but for some reason, they just decided to make these random ass 99 overall cards. And it's not just them. I mean, like I said, there's 258 of these 99 overall cards. So these motherfuckers are everywhere. There's cards specifically for players that have had a good performance for one game. And with all their stats being so fucking inflated, by the time you get to the end game, there's really nothing different about any of these players except their animations. I'm out here cashing threes with Shaq. You know, these 99 overall cards, they obviously cost a fuck ton of money to get, but I can just get the exact same player with the same animations that's 93 overall for practically free. So at this point, what is the point of even getting the 99 Shaq when I already have just as good of one anyway? So the only purpose these 99 overall cards serve is to break gameplay and drain your wallet. All in all, MyTeam now just feels like a mobile deck building fucking arcade game. The amount of cards is so bloated that it just makes it mind numbing.
Now, I'm not saying MyTeam is necessarily easier than it used to be, because it's not. It's actually a lot more challenging. What I'm trying to say is that the card values are way too inflated. Like, gold cards used to be the best standard cards you could get, with diamond cards being very rare, almost unobtainable. Now, diamond cards are the equivalent of what gold cards used to be, and old diamonds are replaced with dumb card tiers like Galaxy Opal and Dark Matter. The only reason these card tiers exist is so they can keep pumping out random cards every week, further diluting the card pool in MyTeam. Any tier under diamond is essentially meaningless now.
I really think 2K would benefit from just stripping MyTeam back to basics completely, but we'll get into that later. For better or worse, we all know 2K won't change anything. And it isn't actually because 2K is lazy or they don't want to make changes or anything like that. It's none of that. It's something far more sinister. See, 2K won't change anything about their game simply because they can't monetizing.
Holy shit. Yeah, out of all the things wrong with 2K, there's nothing even remotely as bad as the microtransactions are in this game. Every single second you're playing the game, 2K is trying to upsell you on something. As soon as you load into the game, there's already an advertisement trying to get you to spend money on something. The main currency used in 2K is a VC, or a virtual currency. The main way players spend their VC is on MyPlayer and MyCareer. The entire design philosophy of MyPlayer is designed to make players spend money on stuff. Remember earlier how I asked why 2K wouldn't make an offline career mode? Well, I already know the answer. It's because they can't monetize it. You need to spend VC to upgrade your attributes. You need to spend VC to unlock new animations. You need to spend VC to buy clothes and shoes. They even get really sneaky with the monetization. Like, you're purposely made to run slow around the city, so that way it'll coerce you into buying a skateboard that'll get you around faster.
I'm broke.
It's predatory, it's anti-consumer, and it's just plain evil, to be honest. And it wouldn't be bad if 2K, you know, gave you a fair amount of money every game you play. Nah, 2K drip feeds you this VC. Like, it's basically impossible to upgrade your player just playing the game base without any microtransactions. For example, you'll get around, I don't know, 1,000 VC for every MyCareer game you play. It costs around 450,000 to 500,000 VC to fully upgrade your player to a 99. Say you're playing on only 5-minute quarters and you're only getting 10 minutes of playtime every game. Conservatively, that's about 4,500 minutes of playing time, or you know, 75 hours. So you could beat Dead Space 7 times in that amount of time. You can play through New Vegas like 3 times. You could speedrun all 3 Mass Effect games in the time it takes you to upgrade your player. Oh, you don't want to play that long? You have a life, you know. You're not you know, 14 years old with nothing better to do. Oh, well, you can just pay $100 to fully upgrade your player to a 99. You know, just save you all that time, spend $100 on top of the 70 that you already spent on the game. And the monetization goes far beyond just microtransactions in the game. I mean, it's even real life stuff. Shameless product placement and unskippable advertisements. I mean, bro, look at this. Look. What the fuck is that? You can't walk 10 feet without being reminded to go buy a Mountain Dew or a Gatorade or something. As for MyTeam, you know, that mode is pretty much exclusively pay to win at this point. Every year the Sharks dominate MyTeam because they can just keep putting money into the card packs that you buy and just keep getting these badass players like a fucking, you know, 99 overall 3-point Shaq and just dominating MyTeam online completely. And it's funny because, like, while one game gets shitted on for having one type of microtransaction, this one's literally got it all. You got loot boxes, you got pay to win, you got time savers. I mean, it's all there, baby. It's all there. 2K's microtransactions got so bad in 2K18 that CEO of Take-Two Strauss Zelnick even had to go public and say something like, okay, yeah, this is pretty fucking bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry. We'll do better next time. And, you know, of course they didn't. So microtransactions are a detriment to the game, straight up. Like, it doesn't benefit anyone. No one is in favor of this model of monetization. You can't just suck your entire player base dry, pause, and expect them to just sit there and be happy with it. I mean, you're charging us $70 for a brand new game every single year. I shouldn't have to spend an extra $100 on top of that just to have an enjoyable experience. Monetization can work well in some games, you know. Fortnite, Apex, League of Legends, you know, these are all highly successful games that people love because they have a fair monetization model and they still hold up that AAA quality. But there's something common between those 3 games that I just mentioned, and it's that they're all free to play. And I believe that the only way that 2K can redeem itself at this point is to go completely free to play. You know, after shitting on 2K for however long this video is, you know, I didn't just want to shit on it, you know, because I mean, I still like the game, I still play it, but I just want to take this time to offer some ideas on how to improve. Of course, you know, 2K isn't gonna listen to anything I say, but you know, hey, doesn't hurt to try, right? To put it frank, buying 2K at full price is a scam. The only thing you're paying for is access to a storefront that requires you to buy more to extract any enjoyment from the game. I believe the next iteration of 2K should not only be free to play, but also stay in development for at least another 2 to 3 years. Take ideas from eFootball 2022, formerly known as Pro Evolution Soccer. In 2022, Konami took Pro Evolution Soccer free-to-play, offering, extreme microtransactions, of course, and they give constant roster updates for every season that they play. Now, eFootball isn't particularly good, but it is Konami we're talking about. So, Visual Concepts is more than capable of running a live service 2K game. They've been doing it every year for the last 7 to 8 years, so I know they're capable. In this type of model, it still sucks having all those microtransactions, but it's not nearly as bad because, at the end of the day, you're not paying for the game. It's free, and then you're paying for shit inside the game to make it better. I dropped my microphone. There's no bar of entry to play the game. Simply, everyone can just download it. Make it to where the next 2K release is free to play, and just simply title it, NBA 2K, 2K Forever, NBA Infinite, some shit like that. I don't fucking know. Give frequent roster updates and attribute patches, every couple weeks to a month, whatever. You can still do the, new animation packages, new clothes, all that shit. Just keep patching it in every month or two. Maybe have a wipe for my player every season. Similar to like Tarkov, where you get, so OP after a certain amount of time, you wipe, everyone starts over, and they get good again. And like I was talking about before, if you're going to keep the city as a concept, make it a full-on RPG. Let us choose our backstory, our nickname, our relationships, everything about it. Be able to play through different storylines, branching storylines. Truly make players feel more connected to their players. With 2K going free to play, this gives you an opportunity to not only rise your player base tremendously, since there's no bar of entry, but with that, you can peddle them as much VC as you want, and they'd be way more likely to spend the money. Make the game last 4 or 5, hell, even 6 years. Take all that money that you're raking in from the microtransactions and put them towards a true AAA feeling sequel. This model of live service is super popular right now because 1, it's lucrative, and 2, it works. As for gameplay, I would say dabble a little bit more in physics. The old 2Ks, though they were outdated, they were able to successfully blend animation and physics. I know NBA Live is absolutely dog shit compared to 2K, but one thing they do have over them is the competency of their physics in their Ignite engine. And finally, that brings us to MyTeam. As I said previously, MyTeam's so much better if they just stripped everything down and went back to basics with their design. Severely limit the amount of players that are allowed to be out in the wild at one time, especially duplicate players. There doesn't need to be 19 different versions of a LeBron James card by the time the game year ends. Get rid of position locks just completely. If it's online balancing you want with position locks, then make an online game mode specifically where position locks are a requirement. And finally, no more OP cards, man. I mean, like I said before, you don't need a fucking Shaq draining threes and, breaking everyone's ankles. I mean, that's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. You can still have all these era players, all these dynamic rating characters, all special edition characters, whatever. But I mean, this isn't a fucking casino, okay? We don't need 17 different versions of everyone that are all way higher than they're supposed to be. This is a card building game. Treat it with some more respect. Maybe make some players that are ultra rare to where you get them and you can only get them in this one specific season. You can't get them anywhere else. They can't be sold in the auction. So that way, if there is a rare or OP character, it's very, very hard to get. For all that 2K gets wrong, it's still a very fun game, But if you want the game to truly improve, us as a 2K community need to stand up and speak the only way we can. 2K doesn't change because they know we'll just go up and buy the game. No matter how ass the game is, people are still going to buy it at $70 every year. And that's because it has no competition. Vote with your wallet. Let them know they need to stop fucking us over and actually change some things. Stop draining us of every single penny we have. Don't give it any attention. Don't give it any time of day. Don't give it a single penny. Just starve it of attention, starve it of money. And maybe, just maybe, we'll go back to the glory days of 2K. Hope you guys enjoyed. This video took very, very, very long to make. Not every video essay I do is going to be this negative. I just had to get this off my chest. I'll do more about video games that I actually like. So if you have any corrections, comments, you just want to shit talk me, whatever, just go ahead and leave a comment. If there's anything I missed, just go ahead and leave a comment down there or whatever, and I'll reply. I like it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.